Taste buds ready because Taste of Cayman is back. Join us May 13th at Festival Green, Camana Bay. Eat, drink, and dance the night away. Taste of Cayman offers the very best of Cayman's food and drink scene with plenty of music to keep the party going. Get your festival tickets online today at tasteofcayman.org or call 623-6700. Brought to you by the Cayman Islands Tourism Association and sponsored by AI Rentals, Camana Bay, DMS Broadcasting, and numerous valued partners.
Welcome to Cayman Conversations, now streaming on Caymanian Times, Facebook and YouTube channel, and also live on Bobo FM 89.1. I'm Ralph Lewis, and today we have two more exciting conversations for you. In our first interview, I'm joined by Dr. Nick Gent, Chief Medical Officer, who will outline the STEP survey and purpose, give an update of the current COVID-19 situation and the new variant and vaccination program, and also his short-term to mid-term goals as a Chief Medical Officer. In our second conversation for today, Jessica Eden and Isa Eden from Cayman Islands National Dance Company will join me to speak about the coming 35th annual dance performance and its growth. Now, here's our conversation with Dr. Gent. By Dr. Nick Gent, Chief Medical Officer, who will outline the STEPS survey and purposes. He will also give us an update on the current COVID situation, new variant and vaccination program, and short-term, mid-term goals of the CMO. Good afternoon, Mr. Gent. Welcome to Cayman Conversation. How are you?
Very well, Mr. Lewis, and thank you very much for having me on the show. It's good to join you.
This is our first conversation. Never met you in person, but technology is so great, and thank you for being on time. And we have a huge audience out there, and I just couldn't wait to have you on here to talk about your role. How is it? How are you settling in so far?
Absolutely loving it. It's in all possible ways. Obviously, it goes without saying that the islands are beautiful, and the population are. I couldn't speak highly enough of the way we've been welcomed. They're friendly, helpful beyond belief. It's a fantastic experience. I've been here long enough that my children and indeed my granddaughter's also been over, and she loves it. And she went back to nursery shouting at the teachers she'd been to Cayman, waving her toy turtle around. And yes, and my wife's out here and she's enjoying it and having a great time. But the work's interesting, which is what I'm primarily here for. And I'm finding myself very, very welcomed by the clinical world and exploring lots of different things with them. And I'm finding the work very, very challenging.
Okay, well, we're going to get into some of that work in a few seconds, but just to say, I interviewed Governor just recently, just yesterday. We actually played her interview just before this conversation, and she's saying the same thing that you were saying. You know, it's a very nice place to be, and I've got the same Cayman kind welcome 40 years ago, and it still happens today. That's great news.
Great.
All right, let's get down to business.
Yeah.
There's a STEP survey happening now. There's a number of meetings around the community. Could you explain a little bit more about this STEP survey?
Certainly. The STEP survey is a well-validated method of trying to discover what the potential problems are in a community from non-communicable disease. So these are diseases which are primarily linked to our lifestyle, and the big group of diseases include heart disease, diabetes, and various respiratory diseases. But they're ones that dominate the causes, not just of dying too early, but also of loss of quality of life. So they're hugely important. And the STEP survey, it's done in 3 steps. That's why it's called STEP survey. The first step is a detailed questionnaire that an interviewer goes through the selected person with. The second step is, and that step gathers that information about lifestyle, nutrition, exercise, all kinds of things, current health status. The second step is taking some measurements, height, weight, blood pressure, things like that. And the third step is something that's done a little separately because it needs to be done first thing in the morning, which is to take a drop of blood before somebody's had anything to eat, and we measure the blood sugars and cholesterols and these kinds of things. And the survey's done on a group of randomized households across all 3 islands, making sure that we've got representation from all of the districts. And we go to those households, knock on the door, find out who's there, and the computer then randomizes one person from the household to take part in the survey. And this randomization is really important because a lot of health information, because people might say, well, we have these health fairs where we check people's health and so on. That's all information about the people who could get there. What we need to do is make sure this is really representative so that we know that there's a chance that anybody of the right ages who is resident in Cayman contributes their information so that we can look at the data and say, we know that this statistically is giving us a really good snapshot.
Okay, that's very interesting. And by the way, it actually fits into the new name of the ministry when it's health and wellness. And yes. I remember the Minister Turner speaking about the wellness portion of it. And he was in the view, she talked about the importance of the wellness of the community. And so this step, if I'm what I'm hearing, is targeting that wellness of the community.
It is because we've got good health services, but they are predominantly dealing with people when they've become ill. And many of the determinants of that illness have been there a long time before. There was a recent survey, for instance, or there's recent data on the numbers of children entering school that are overweight or frankly they are obese. Those figures were quite disturbing, and we know that is setting people up for a lifetime where they will have degenerative diseases of their joints. They have a much higher risk of high blood pressure, much higher risk of ischemic heart disease, and a much higher risk of getting diabetes. So instead of just being better at treating people or when they become ill, and frankly, a lot of these conditions we can't reverse. We can put a brake on them, but we can't turn back all of these years. A lot of what we're doing with the STEP survey is finding out just how bad the problems are, what scale of intervention we need, where the population is that needs that intervention, so that we can then do that targeting properly.
Okay. Is it then, from surveys, is it accepted that the Caribbean region have high levels of these non-communicable diseases, or is it a worldwide problem?
It's a global problem. You will find in different countries that there will be some variation, that you'll see sometimes higher rates of respiratory diseases. That's particularly where you've got very high smoking rates in the population. In other places, it's much more likely to be associated with diet and being overweight. And you'll see changes over time. So for instance, if you look at Africa, if you go back quite a number of years, smoking was relatively rare. Now smoking rates are very, very high. Cayman, interestingly, has a very good record on smoking. and can be particularly proud that it is a party to the Treaty of Tobacco Control. That's a United Nations endeavor. I think it's the only small territory of its kind that has such a good track record on smoking. So we would expect to see fewer respiratory diseases, but I'd have to say, having become acquainted with the very, very good Cayman diet, I am rather expecting to see more on the nutritional problem side when we get the figures out. And we have data from a survey that was similar to this that we undertook 10, 12 years ago. And I think what's going to be most interesting to us is to see what's changed. And I strongly suspect the nutritional elements, the numbers of people that are overweight will have increased. I don't know yet it's going to be important, but I have strong suspicion that our particular problem is going to lie there, whereas other countries may have more problems with the respiratory side.
Okay. From the meetings that you've been having, how was the turnout, and how has it been accepted?
We've been to every district apart from one, and we've got a Georgetown meeting tonight. Relatively few people have come, unfortunately, but the people who've come have been people who have been known in their communities. They've taken a lot of material out, and we've noticed they've been posting on things like Facebook and things like that and spreading the message. But of course, Cayman has got a very, very rich set of media outlets, and the media outlets have been, like yourselves, have been absolutely fantastic in letting us have airtime and letting people know about what's going on.
I'm between minds regarding communication, and I understand that we've moved forward, and particularly with the pandemic, everyone tuned into the television, and everyone tends to go to social media and use radio and so on. But there has to be a balance, and I do believe that we have a part to play as media, that we put the information in the newspapers and the radio, but also the meetings are critical. And I hope one day to see people lining up outside to get into meetings, because having you speak to people and having them being able to ask questions is so important, because you can't ask a radio questions. You can't ask the newspaper questions. And social media, sometimes you can't even get access. And, yes, you can call on a radio show, but at the same time, it's not the same as having that physical appearance in a hall where you have 500 people eager to know what they think. And so you will get a better response on who are taking your programs and your surveys seriously. So I wish that they will come.
Yeah, I thoroughly agree. I mean, my career goes back. I've been practicing medicine and been predominantly in the public health fields for almost 40 years. When I started, it was very much local radio, local newspapers, but a lot of town hall kind of stuff, going to meeting halls. And I would be out 3-4 nights a week meeting people, and I thoroughly loved that experience. I mean, even when some of the debates were quite strongly worded, of controversial subjects, because you've got a real feeling for what people felt like, and actually there is that feeling here in Cayman. A lot of people do stop me, they do talk to me, and I very, very much welcome that, because that real authentic voice of Cayman comes across that way, and it's hugely important. And I do miss, the same as you, the technology's hiding us from each other a little bit.
Yes, and on a small island with only approximately 80,000 people, we should be meeting together a lot more. It's not like we're 100,000, 200,000. It's a very small community in the scheme of things. And so I think we can encourage others. I wish you a lot more luck in the future with those events, and we'll do our part and get the message out earlier. And when does the survey start?
We're starting in the 3rd of July, because we're making sure that we don't coincide with other surveys like the economic survey that's currently going on. So there'll be no confusion in the public's mind, we'd hope.
Okay, and Should our residents be fearful of this survey?
No, not at all. You need the people who'll be approaching you are very well trained, experienced people about doing these surveys. It's we're not asking for anything that would be embarrassing. It's the kind of questions you might ask, might expect. We'd want to know a little bit about the person who's selected, about sort of their age, educational experience, what a typical week might look like in terms of their diet and exercise, whether they do smoke, a little bit about whether what drinking habit might look like. But there's nothing that you wouldn't expect. And let's be very clear that the only time that we keep a personal identifier is while we link step 1, 2, 3 together, and as soon as we've got all 3 pieces of data together, name and date of birth disappears, and we just have, it was subject number 123, and these are the details, and they're secure. We keep all that data very, very securely. We've been working closely with the data protection people to make sure that we're absolutely spot on data protection wise, which was always going to be relatively easy because this is a survey system that's been designed by the World Health Organization. We already know it's compliant with European data standards and so on, but we wanted to make sure the Cayman data standards were right as well. So we've done all of that. We will not be releasing any information that's about an individual person. The data, it will essentially only be divided down into two groups, a younger group, an older group, and men and women. And so any piece of data that we publish is going to be is an aggregate of many tens of people at minimum, so nobody can be identified from any of the data that we'll be publishing. And we will be publishing the data because it's important that this is holding a mirror up to Cayman and saying, this is who you are now, this is who you were 10 years ago. Do you like the change? Is the change important? What is it you want to change about yourselves? And if we were to do this in another 10 years' time, what would you like to see then? And how do we get there? And so this data set has got to be there for Caymanians to be able to plan their own future, and for people who are involved in health and healthcare and welfare and education and sports and nutrition. Everybody who can contribute to the public health needs to have sight of the final results, and we'll be publishing those in lots of different ways. We'll be speaking at public conferences. We'll be doing fact sheets so that people can fact sheets so that people can read the headlines themselves. Yeah. We'll be coming back to people like yourself and saying, "Hey, do you want us on the show so we can so we can tell you about what we found?" But people don't need to be frightened, and importantly, people really must understand this is such an important thing to contribute to, because this is about the future of yourselves and about the future of your children and generations to come.
That's very good. Well, I love the part about confidentiality. From a banker myself, that's so important. And I think that once we highlight that, your residents who are being tested will feel a lot more comfortable. So I look forward to those results. And then if you want to come by my home anytime, please do. I don't smoke, so that's a good thing. And I'm doing well at my age. So I just encourage these sort of events, and the survey I'm sure will be very, very beneficial to the lawmakers. When can we expect results? When are you scheduled?
Well, we'll have to do a fair bit of work to analyze the data. So the study is going to be running through for essentially 6 to 8 weeks, because we've got to take account that people may not be in when we first call, or it may not be convenient and we have to reschedule. reschedule meetings,
Yes.
and we'll be doing everything possible to make things easy for people in this way. But it will probably take us another 1 to 2 months before we've got the headline findings. So I'm expecting October, November time to be when we get the first results we're comfortable and confident with.
Yes.
Obviously, as soon as we can, because we want to be acting on this as quickly as possible. But it'll probably take us, 6 to 8 weeks after we've closed the survey to make sure that we've cleaned the data, analysed it, we've checked it to make sure that we've there's no possibility of any disclosable information, that we're reporting results from too small a group, these kind of things. But that's about the timescale.
Okay, sounds good. So we're expecting around September, October, November, in that period.
Yeah.
Just hope that we don't have a strong hurricane season.
Well, I'm hoping for a short for a short and quiet hurricane season, along with everybody else who's living in Cayman.
Of course. Well, we're going to move on to the next topic, and it's dear to my heart. COVID-19 really disrupted my life, my business, but not only mine, everyone, even the government. And it was hard. I'm sure you were, you were having your tasks as well. But just give us an update as where we are with COVID-19, if you may.
Right. Well, I think it's fair to say that it's relatively quiet globally. No countries that we know of have got extremes of disease at the present time. Having said that, I still have a bit of a worry about the Pacific region and China, because whilst they're not reporting cases or many cases, that's because there's no testing and reporting being done out of China, and I'm just trying to get a bit more validation about what I'm seeing there. But of all the countries which I think are good sentinels around the world, who I know have got good public health systems and do good quality reporting, things have settled down. But I need to define what I mean by settle down, and that is COVID has joined the sort of legions of respiratory infections that we expect to see. It's continuing in the background. It's a relatively low prevalence, 1, maybe 2% of people at any one time are suffering from infection. It's not going away. The variants that we're seeing seem to have stabilized, and we're just only really seeing Omicron variant and a few little shifts in the genome, but nothing major that's causing the current Omicron variants to be any more severe in their illness or more transmissible. And we're still seeing virus that is to which vaccine is providing good protection from severe disease. However, little word of warning in there, people who are very vulnerable, particularly the elderly, and people who have got severe immunocompromise, this is still a very dangerous virus, and we've got to just set that context that the fit and the well and the healthy are at risk. The elderly and people with immunosuppression are at very, very high risk still. And so we are in a period where I think people should, as always, take all respiratory infections seriously. Even if you think it's the flu, whatever, you shouldn't be going into the workplace if you're not ill. You should, and all of us should learn the lesson that we've learned from COVID, that really good respiratory hygiene and hand hygiene don't only just suppress COVID, but they suppress foodborne diseases, they suppress influenza. They're good. I mean, COVID's given us a big steer to reinvent and remember good hygiene.
Okay, yeah. Well, we have some people still not convinced that vaccines are the way to go. Do you have any comments for those people?
There will always be people who have skepticism, and there will always people who will weigh evidence differently, and I respect that. Um, I'm a scientist trained in, sort of 21st century
Okay.
modern medicine, epidemiology, statistics. And I had the very unusual experience of, in the last 3 years of working before my current job, of being quite heavily involved in assessing the effectiveness of vaccines and working with the primary biology of vaccines and working with live viruses of all the different variants that we've seen. And so I've been privileged to have that very first-hand experience of how effective the vaccines are. And whilst the progressive mutations and variants have been able to skirt a little bit around vaccines in terms of their ability to still create chains of infection, the vaccines' ability to protect from severe illness and particularly to protect against dying from this infection are impressive. We've rarely had such vaccines of such potency in that respect. But people will have their own views. I can only say I've got a huge amount of experience both in the laboratory side of the vaccines, the epidemiology side of the vaccines. I was a member of the UK vaccine experts panel that looked specifically at all the evidence of COVID vaccines. So I was absolutely steeped in all the literature. I'm doing the critical analysis of that literature because there's good literature and there's bad literature. I'd have to say the case for vaccines being effective in terms of protecting against severe disease and them being safe is quite overwhelming. Other people may differ. Sometimes people will pick out a particular issue, incident, whatever. My view is global. We've never administered a vaccine on such a scale globally to such an effect, and to be able to see the progressive suppression of severe illness.
Okay, very well. Just piggybacking off of that topic, and maybe you might be able to answer this question or not. It's something that have heard discussions on. The vaccine has become a part of our immigration policy, and so currently, or if I remember correctly, it's a requirement to have vaccine if you want to apply for a work permit. Is that still the case?
It is still the case, and it is an issue that I have promised Cabinet and Caucus that I will review at regular intervals. It will be coming up into the near future, the time spot in my diary to review that. And I will take a long, hard look at the epidemiology of infections around the world. And I will be taking a view on whether or not I think it is safe to remove that requirement or not. But I haven't yet done that piece of work for the next review point, so I'm not going to anticipate it. But I will take it very seriously, and my stance will be to look at in terms of the protection of the Caymanian population.
Okay, I look forward to your results on that one. Well, Dr. Gent, it's been a real pleasure. But before you go, what are your plans for the future? Do you have anything tabled? Any big surprises for us? Are you gonna roll out some big program? What's in your crystal ball?
Crystal ball. Firstly, of course, the advice on what we see from the STEP survey is going to be important, and I think the STEP survey is going to be really critical about targeting things. I think we will want to take a very, very strong look at nutrition.
Yeah.
I think we will want to take a long, hard look at the way we're providing care for both early diagnosis and then the long-term management of diabetes. And I'm currently looking very hard at how we are providing vaccination for prevention of a range of cancers, particularly cervical cancers and other cancers related to HPV virus. And I'm looking at that and think I will probably want to be taking steps to extend the HPV vaccination program, because the data that I'm looking at showing, say, not just cervical cancer, but there's a range of other cancers associated with HPV, but particularly cervical cancer. I'm thinking that if we've got a disease that we can eradicate, virtually eradicate, and we can do that with a simple vaccine, I think I probably will be thinking that's highly likely to be one of my near-term priorities.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I look forward to those developments as we go along. Any final words for our listeners?
I think just returning to the STEP survey, if somebody knocks on your door and says, we want to randomize somebody from your household to take part of the survey, please welcome in. I know it will be some time out of somebody's day. We'll be doing this in the evenings for the questionnaire, the blood prick tests in first thing in the morning. We'll be working around you, but please, please, please participate, because this is so important to us knowing about what we do for the best for those of us who are here living and working in Cayman. And thank you in anticipation for your help.
Well, you're always welcome to come on Cayman Conversations, and thank you for coming on Cayman Conversations.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis.
Have a great evening.
And you.
Taste buds ready, because Taste of Cayman is back. Join us May 13th at Festival Green, Camana Bay. Eat, drink, and dance the night away. Taste of Cayman offers the very best of Cayman's food and drink scene, with plenty of music to keep the party going. Get your festival tickets online today at tasteofcayman.org or call 623-6700. Brought to you by the Cayman Islands Tourism Association and sponsored by AI Rentals, Camana Bay, DMS Broadcasting, and numerous valued partners.
Welcome back to Cayman Conversation. For those of you listening on Bobo FM, that was just a presentation by the Cayman Islands National Dance Group. And today, they're actually getting ready for their 35th anniversary celebration, which is from May 19th to 21st. The company was built on the foundation of Miss Reed's vision that dance should be shared with all who live and breathe. From the beginning, she ensured the company's longevity by teaching her dancers the skill to dance and to create dances as well. Miss Eden has continued that tradition by encouraging new choreographers to create from the heart of what moves them. Today, we welcome Jessica and Isa Eden. Good afternoon, ladies. Welcome to Cayman Conversation. How are you doing?
Hi, doing good today.
Hi.
Thank
Good afternoon.
Right. Isa, is it Isa, Ika, Ika?
Ika.
Ika. Okay, I got it right. My apologies. All right, today we're going to talk about dance. I'm excited to go to that new show in about a week and a half. And so, Jessica, just let me know, what's your role in the organization?
I'm currently the artistic director. I've been a founding member from its inception in 1988. So in 2019, Lorna Reed, our now artistic director emerita, decided she wanted to just step back a bit, and she passed it on. I've been her right-hand person, and I guess the board found it probably most fitting to pass it down and allowed me to continue with what she's been doing and her work. Having been among one of those who've been there from its inception and
Yes.
being the student now up to the teacher, and hopefully I am continuing her vision and allowing dance to continue its growth on this island and its development. And I think so far we have done that, because I have to say, through what we do, we're able to allow or help other dancers to build their confidence in what they can do, and actually branch off and try other stuff. So that's, one thing about us. We all about the sharing. We all about development and enhancement. And so for our dancers have been doing that. We've have many dancers that have passed through us and continue to grow with their craft and share it onto younger generation. And we're very proud to see that development within the islands and within our group.
Very good. Now we're going to switch to Ika. Can you tell me about yourself? What's your role in this organization?
I'm the assistant artistic director. I assist Jessica with anything she asks for, basically.
Okay, good.
I'm also one of the choreographers and teachers of the school or with the company. I've been there for many moons. I went to school, dance school and everything, and came back and still with them.
Okay. Are you still dancing?
I am. I'm still dancing, teaching, choreographing, the whole works.
Very good, very good. Well, we need to talk about this show that's upcoming. I've heard a lot of talk about it, and there have been many before, and I remember helping to promote them. Can you tell us what's special in this show that's coming up, Jessica?
Well, this show, we've created a lot of new pieces, and one thing we've done that we haven't done before, we have created a collection of Miss Reed pieces over the past. Is a long dance in itself, and it composes of 5 different dances. And the dance, and within the 5 dances, there are 5 costume change. And we've been fortunate enough to we're able to use original costumes as much as possible. I'm excited to see how that actually pulls off on stage too, because it's the first time we're doing it. And we created many styles of dance, and this particular one we're doing is a taste of her abstract pieces.
Okay, very good.
So yeah, and our choreographers have created some really in-depth dances too. We portray different aspects of what might be experiencing within the society, within our lives, and brought it to the stage.
Okay, great stuff. Just Ika, how many students will be performing at that event? Rough idea.
Company members alone, I think it's 11, 12,
Okay.
12 of us. And then we also have the Radiance apprentice dancers who are dancing with us, and that's a good another 12 also, I think.
Okay. So what age group do you take dances in? How young are some of your dancers?
our company members, the youngest one at the moment is 16.
16.
I
Okay.
think she just turned 17 actually.
All right.
And our oldest one's over 40.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So we have a large age group there. Our apprentice dancers, they are teens. And
Yes.
so they go from 12 to 16.
Yes. Right. Well, that's great. Well, I mean, Jessica gave us an idea of the history of dance, and I read a bit when I started the program. But let's just talk about how important dance is to the community and to the dancers. Any of you ladies can jump in at any time. But I think that when there's so much stuff to do, so much negative around us, to find something positive as dancing is so important to our society. So just let's talk about how important is dancing and what you do to the Cayman Islands. Anyone can go first. Just let me know. How important is dancing to Cayman?
I think it's very important. I mean, there's a self-awareness in dance. You can express yourself in many ways, in many genres, in anything. Even, you don't even have to have music to dance. The music's in your head.
Yes, yes.
You can use, cultural pieces, preserve the culture of Cayman. We have the quadrille, the junk canoe, all those things, teach our young ones that today, what they did not know from before. There's just getting fit, dance itself, it's exercise.
Yes.
Some people don't think it's athleticism, but it is. We jump, we run, we split. There's all sorts of things in there. It's good for our bones. I mean, I use it myself as a way of getting free of all my daily stuff. I just let loose when I get onto the dance floor.
Okay. And so, Jessica, you want to just add anything?
Yeah, dance is something that allows us to keep ourselves balanced. It definitely helps with the mental health for our being. And for younger dancers, it helps them to keep focused and it builds confidence. Because we are so determined, or as you get into it, you become so determined and want to better yourself at what you're doing. So physically is about, okay, I can do better than this. I may not get it today, but next session it will look even better than what it is. So it allows each dancer to have that self-determination and to say, well, I can aim higher than where I was yesterday. So the stars are the limits. So dancing itself, do that. It's not just a physical craft. It's about the whole well-being of the individual. Because how you think about a situation, it helps with how you solve problems. And unconsciously, you're doing all of this without even realizing it. So it's not so much about the talk. It's about what you do, how you do it, how you see yourself bettering yourself within your society, within your environment. And there's so many things that we gain from dance that we unconsciously are aware of. So that's what dance brings to us overall.
And if we go into history, we will learn that dancing is part of who we are. That's why we love music so much, and that's why we dance so much. And every weekend, just last weekend, there's Batmanu, and they were dancing. The week before that, there was Capel, there's dancing, and everywhere you got people dancing. Dancing has become part of our life, and I'm so proud of what you ladies have been doing, taking that form of exercise and turning it into an art and a hobby, and now you put it on a great show with your other, your board and your members and your dancers to entertain and, of course, educate the community. And have you traveled overseas with this dance group at all at any time?
Yes, we have. We've traveled as far to Holland. We've gone Holland. We've gone Trinidad, St. Nevis, Bahamas. We've done the U.S. We've even done our sister islands. So we have extended and shared what the Cayman has to offer in a sense of the arts. So we can fit that category with everybody else who are performing. So dance in itself isn't just entertainment. It is an art form that brings you insight into issues, insight into what might be happening around. So it's quite a deep art form in a sense, all that it has to offer you. And it allows you to reflect on something in your past, something that's happening now, something that's you kind of aiming towards. So yeah, but we have traveled around the world, so to say.
Ika, how does it help with discipline? Do you have to be very disciplined to be good at what you do in dancing?
I mean, in the beginning, you don't have to be very disciplined, but eventually you become disciplined. It helps you to not be tardy at events or performances, be on time to certain things, you be groomed, you learn to be groomed, you go everywhere groomed and you look nice. You have mannerism, you learn to respect space, the dance space and other people's spaces where you go. And I mean, it's something you think you carry with you everywhere,
Yes, excellent. I like
posture,
that.
everything.
Yeah, it reminded me of my days in martial arts where we trained our mind, body, and spirit. And it
Exactly.
seems to me the same thing, just at a different form of exercise. And it keeps you fit and healthy, and especially when we are all trying to stay healthy, being dancing. So, is it recommended for not only women, but men as well to become part of a dance group? Would you recommend it for anyone, everyone?
Everyone,
I
Jessica.
everyone, it helps with sports. I know that not too many Caribbean men, especially guys in the Cayman Islands, would want to do dance, but it allows them to, when engaged in it, it allows your flexibility to increase, especially footballers. It helps with endurance. And someone who might be not well, it also helps you to build that energy, to build that strength that's needed to better your body. So I would say for anyone, and
Okay.
regardless of your age too.
Okay. I was impressed to hear that you have dances up to age 40.
over
And
40,
over 40.
over 40.
So can I be part of it too?
Of
I'm over
course,
60.
Yes.
That's all right. So I encourage our listeners and our viewers, if you're interested in dancing or your family is interested in dancing, I think it's a positive outlet for energy. And especially these days when we want to find things for our families and friends to do. Here's a perfect example. Tell us about this show that's happening next week. Yes, yeah. I think it starts on Friday or Saturday.
it starts on Friday with our gala night. On that night, we will be recognizing our sponsors who have supported us um, financially to make this possible, because we are a nonprofit organization. So we rely on the kindness of our community to make this possible and to help us continue with our training. We will also be providing the history and just a recap of what we have been doing over the years and what we have established ourselves to be. And then we will also showcase some of the pieces. So Friday night won't be a complete show. It will be half of the show, but they will get the perks of other stuff that night. And then Saturday morning, we will have a matinee for kids, for younger kids. So it's school kids who may not um, be up to a late night performance. So they will also get a feel and also see their peers performing and see what they can do. And then that same Saturday night, we will have the full show, a 2 hour show of new and old pieces. And Sunday is the same thing.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And
What's
we
the
would
cost?
definitely we would like to thank our sponsors,
Yes, of course.
the Cayman National Cultural Foundation, ARC directors, CMB. They are our main sponsors. Then we have Water Authority who came on board, CUC, and Radio Cayman who have been assisting us.
Okay.
And the cost, the gala night tickets are $75. Our matinee ticket are $10, and the regular show on the Saturday night and Sunday evening is $35. And those are the price for adults.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's held at the Harkwell Center?
At the Hartwell Theater.
Harkwell Theater. And it's next weekend.
Yeah.
How many folks can hold inside the event hall? You have an idea? Is it 100? Are you expected to get a lot of people?
It can hold 300 persons in the theater. So we're hoping to have a full house.
Good.
Because it's one weekend. So,
Yes.
and the theater is in a popular demand. So we're asking everyone, please do come out and be part of this wonderful event. It's a family show.
Yeah.
So,
So how
all the
has it turned? Sorry.
Sorry,
Yes. How has the turnout been in the past? Have it been well attended? Can you get more people? Give me an idea of what has happened in the past. Have people really supported you?
we can get more people. There've been, all depends what's happening. Because sometimes we hit a weekend that have so many other stuff happening on the island. Then we sometimes get really lucky, and then there's nothing happening, and it's full house. So it all depends. But I think with our almost 70,000 of population, we can have a
Yes.
full house if possible.
Yes. And one thing I like about this show called Cayman Conversations is that we get an opportunity to highlight events, but also get to have heart-to-heart talk on our guests, and to get you to open up and talk about these things that are happening. And one thing I've been concerned about is the support that we get from our community. I think we can get better turnouts. I've seen bigger crowds go to other events that really don't allow us to spend time with ourselves and really develop ourselves as we should. And so therefore, I would love to see more people go to these events. It should have been sold out by now. And so we do our part having these conversations, and I'm sure with your sponsors and getting the word out that these things are happening, and give it time. I know that Miss Patrice called me about having the interview. She said wanted to have it this week so we can actually promote it by next week, which is good. Gives us time to get those people who are thinking about it to make up their minds and attend these things. And the more we get the word out and talk about it, it now opens the eyes of many others who are looking someplace to go for some wholesome, as we should say, entertainment. And so, how do you feel about the support that we get from local communities in local events like this? Aika?
I think they can be more. They can do a lot more. Like you said, I've been to events that they're bigger crowd for when the other local stuff can get more also.
Yes.
So it's a hit or miss kind of thing, and especially depending on the weekend. But I do agree that the local community should try and support more local events.
Yes, and to me, it's like a sport because you are dancing and exercising, right, Jessica? Exercising. Yeah. So it's like the support for sport should be a lot more, and that's what we're aiming towards. I think the Minister for Sports is actually pushing for that area. So if he hasn't spoken with you folks, maybe you should contact him regarding that, because this is like a sport, and this needs support from the community, and that's how we build quality and expertise, by getting sport getting the community behind the sports. And so one final word on that. Do you think that it can be seen as a sport or more of entertainment?
It can be seen as both of them, as a sport and as entertainment, and definitely the arts. Arts and culture.
Yeah. Well, I applaud the dance company for what they're doing and what they've continued to do for over the years. I remember years ago when working in Cayman National, that it was one of the things that they were involved in, and so that's good to say they're still one of the main sponsors. And I want to wish you all the best with this event. Want to give us some more details as to the event and any final words?
Mika?
Jessica. Jessica.
Okay. Oh. One more final words. Please do come out, support us. We have troop there, eager and willing, passionate about what they're about, going to give their full on stage on the May the 19th, 20th, and 21st, gala night on the Friday, matinee in the Saturday morning. Regular show on the Saturday and Sunday evening. Tickets can be purchased by WhatsApping 9261826, or you can contact us, drop an email at dance.com. We definitely like to say a big shout out to our sponsors who are supporting us with this. Cayman National Cultural Foundation, ARC Directors, CNB, CUC, Water Authority, Radio Cayman, Brick K. If anyone else would like to further assist us with some sponsorship, we're more than open for it, because every little bit helps us to keep in operation and doing what we are passionate and in love with. So please do come out to support us. It is a family event, so all will enjoy.
Aika?
Hope to see everyone at our season of dance at the Hartwell Theater next weekend. And tickets are also available at the Radiance Dance Studio, the Audiophile Group, and Winner Circle Sports. And come see this eager group that's willing to show, what we've been doing all year long.
Well, ladies, I want to thank you for coming on Cayman Conversations, and we invite everyone to support this good event. Have a great evening and have a great show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining Cayman Conversations today as we seek to elevate the level of media conversations with our special guests from all walks of life. Tomorrow, we'll be speaking with the Cayman musician everyone's been talking about, Mr. Notch, about music in the Cayman Islands. Is it fair for everyone? Can more be done? And followed by, in another interview, we'll bring in Mr. Cleveland Julian from UCCI to talk about these renewable programs. Remember to like, share, and follow Caymanian Times social media pages. Don't forget to pick up your copy of Wednesday's Caymanian Times. It's celebrating with King Charles and Queen Camilla, and it's all at all locations across the islands. Cayman Conversations is a production of the Caymanian Times newspaper. Have a great evening, and now let's enjoy some music from our local musicians.
Red light.
Yeah.
Na, 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 na.
The sun is up, the sun is up. The sun is up and it's smiling. Another clear blue perfect day.
Paradise.
A warm breeze from the ocean.
Warm breeze blows your troubles away.
I'm so in love with you. Make me feel alright. I'm so in love with you. Time goes on and seasons oh they change. One thing remains the same. I'm so in love with you. Sometimes it's hard to give of yourself. It's not what you want, it's what you get. Love the one you with, you'll see it will fit. Time you love or more for what you need. Hold my hand tonight. I'm so in love with you. Make me feel alright. I'm so in love with you. Time goes on and seasons they change. One thing remains the same. I'm so in love with you. Sometimes it's hard to give of yourself. Sometimes it's hard to give. It's not what you want, it's what you get. It's what you get. It's what you get. It's what you get. Love the one you with, you'll see it will fit. It's what you get every time. In time you love her more for what you did. Well, hold my hand tonight. I'm so in love with you. Make me feel alright. I'm so in love with you. Well, oh, hey, I'm so in love with you. I'm so in love with you. Summertime can one you'd stand still and another dance? All the world deserves to smile for a while. All the world deserves to smile for a while, yeah. We're looking for love, but is there hope? This world is a place that can be so cold. There is one suggestion I'd like to propose, yeah. I'd like to rule the world for a day. 'Cause if I did, there'd be love and peace and no more fighting. I'd like to rule the world for a day. Every month we feed, there'd be no more greed and we'd all do the right thing. 'Cause if I did, everything would be okay. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Let's change some way somehow. Change some way somehow. The future is right now. The future is right now. I think I just figured it out. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'd like to rule the world for a day. 'Cause if I did, there'd be love and peace and no more fighting. I'd like to rule the world for a day. Every month we feed, there'd be no more greed and we'd all do the right thing. 'Cause if I did, everything would be okay. Na 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 na, na 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 na. 'Cause if I did, everything would be okay. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Lord, Lord, Lord. Well, 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 well. Yesterday I was broke. Today I got paper beyond your dreams. That's gone up in smoke. And everything ain't what it seemed. Real comeback story. Come back, come back, come back. Real comeback story. Yesterday I was womanless. Today you checking out my beauty queen. Who job bless I say no man taste. I believe that for real. Real comeback story. Come back, come back, come back. Real comeback story. Yesterday I was walking the block. Today you checking out my chariot. And some wanting what I've got. You put nothing in this pot. Real comeback story. Come back, come back, come back. Real comeback story. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Yesterday I was broke. Today I got paper beyond your dreams. That's gone up in smoke. and everything ain't what it seems. Real comeback story. Real comeback story. Real comeback story.
A child again.
I wish I was a child again. I wish I was. When I was a child, happy to be alive. Before the evil days took away the youthful prize. When I was a child, they gave me no time. When I went astray, they put me back in line. I wish I was a child again, free and wild again, always climbing and inspiring. I wish I was a child again, a child again. Let me swing on a limb, there I talk with my invisible friend, climbing a tree, swimming in the sea. The best things in life are always free. The best things in life are always free. The best things in life are always free. I wish I was a child again, free and wild again, always climbing and inspiring. I wish I was a child again, a child again. Tell me it's okay to go out and play with the children of the day, with their magic eye, basking in the lights, taking flight. I wish I was a child again, free and wild again, always climbing and inspiring. I wish I was a child again, child again. I wish I was a child again. I wish I was child again. Child again. Real life story. Listen up while I shout down Babylon. Block my story, don't try to stop me. 500 years under colonial plan. Emancipation, liberation through democracy. Long time we trod in freedom roads and still not free. Equal rights and justice for humanity. We want one God, one aim and one destiny. Block my story, not history. I come here to mash down Babylon. I block my story, don't try to stop me. I just this time in a Gideon. For the thieves, bloodsuckers and the wagonists, I'm here to tell you, say shadows will come to light. If you want to say your life, make your deeds positive. And no more sorry excuses are gone bye-bye. Good night, yeah. And now I lay you down to sleep. I know your mama weeps. I cry, yes, I cry. But that's the way we're living out here on the street. Black, black, black. Whoa, hey.
You have to fight your way to it when you will.
Black the story. Weeping and the wailing and the national team. Black my story, don't try to stop me. I come here something but on Babylon. Black my story, real life story.
A judgment time in a Gideon. Discrimination, segregation and hypocrisy, mental abuse and economic slavery, equal rights and justice with morality. We want one God, one aim and one destiny. Unite, unite, yeah. Freedom fighters take the streets, no time to be weak. I cry, yes I cry, but Jah will take the curse away from I and I. Black, 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 my story. Black is not history. Black, 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 my story. Black is not history. Black, 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 my story. Black is not history. Black, 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 my story. Oh yeah, yeah. Black my story in misery. I come here suffer burn down Babylon. Black my story down in Milwaukee. I justice time in a the Gideon. Yeah, black my story, don't profile me. I come here suffer burn down Babylon. I black my story, real life story. I justice time in a the Gideon. Black my story, police brutality. Listen up while I chat on Babylon. Black my story, don't try to stop me. 500 years under colonial plan. Yeah, black, black, black my story, cause we should be free.
I wanna love you more. A man looks to his woman, says I don't know what you see in me. You make me feel this way. Many years go by, we live, we laugh, we cry. She said, from the start you stole my heart. I wanna love you more and more. And don't you know I wanna love you more and more. Friends in a car, one says he's going far to make a better way. The other he exclaimed, I wish I felt the same. No matter where you go, I want you to know that I wanna love you more and more. And don't you know I wanna love you more and more and more. And don't you know, out there on the streets, strangers we will meet. We all have different views to show, but if we join our heads and hands to make a master plan, see the colors make a beautiful rainbow. Oh yeah, oh, oh. Oh yeah, oh, oh. What in the world have we come to? Whom this life should we run to? We all know the answer. Ways to skip the forgiving. Look at the life that we live in. I want you to know that I wanna love you more and more. And don't you know I wanna love you more and more and more. And don't you know, though we come from different sides, living different lives, ooh, that's okay. It's still the same old sun shines on everyone every day. Oh, I wanna love you more and more. And don't you know I
And don't you know I wanna love you more and more and more. And don't you know I wanna love you more and more and more. Ooh, yeah. I wanna love you more and more and more. And don't you know I wanna love you more and more. Yeah. I wanna love you more and more and more. Don't you know? Wanna love you more and more. Red light.
Yeah.
Na 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 na.
The sun is up, the sun is up. The sun is up and it's smiling. Another clear blue perfect day.
Paradise.
A warm breeze from the ocean.
Warm breeze blows your troubles away.
Next Wednesday. Oh yeah.
A walk on the white sandy beaches.
A call from the turquoise sea. You know you're right where you're meant to be. If you find yourself believing, if you find yourself still dreaming, if you find yourself in love with life, you found yourself in Cayman kind. We're in Cayman kind. Are you Cayman kind? Living in Cayman kind. If you find yourself believing, Cayman kind. If you find yourself still dreaming, Cayman kind. The sun is up, and it's smiling. The sun is up,
Cayman time.
blows your troubles away. If you find yourself believing, Cayman kind. I wanna walk with you
Paradise.
on the white sandy beaches.
The sun is up and it's smiling. Another clear blue perfect day. Paradise.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, hold my hand tonight. I'm so in love with you. Make me feel alright. I'm so in love with you. Time goes on and seasons oh they change. One thing remains the same. I'm so in love with you. Sometimes it's hard to give of yourself. It's not what you want, it's what you get. Love the one you're with, you'll see it will feel.
tonight. I'm so in love with you. Make me feel alright. I'm so in love with you. Time goes on.